So here's the thing. I get asked all the time, how do you plan to take time off from your podcast? Whether it's you going on a vacation, you have spring break with your kids, you just want to take time off in the summer. I get it, right? The holidays are coming and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so busy doing all the things. I don't want to drop the ball with my podcast. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I plan ahead of time to take time off for my podcast. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Crystal here today, and I'm excited to talk to you about taking time off from your podcast, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to talk about podcasting and all the things that come with a podcast journey, but sometimes you just need to take some time off, whether it's vacation, a kid is sick all of a sudden, or you are just like, I need a break. I get it. I've been through all of these scenarios, and I want to share with you today 3 tips for how you can take time off of your podcast where you feel good about coming back to it and you're not super worried, like, are things going to fall apart while I'm gone? Like all the things. These tips will help you take time off with confidence and ease. So the first tip I have to share with you today is plan. You gotta have a plan. If you want to take time off of your podcast, you have to know, when is that going to happen? How long is it going to be? And when are you actually coming back? Now, for my podcast, the Profit Podcast, you can check it out right here, and there will be a link in the description below. But my podcast, I publish episodes every week. So every Tuesday and Thursday, there is a brand new episode of the Profit Podcast. Come rain or shine, come hell or high water, there will be a brand new episode every Tuesday and Thursday. But this does not happen if I take time off, right? Because I'm not there to actually publish the things and get them going. So I have to make a plan. Now, I can tell you that I started doing this about 2 years ago, and planning out my year ahead of time has absolutely been life transforming for me. So what I'll do is I will get my calendar. I have a wall calendar that I'll go in there and put important dates, whether it's the kids' spring break, whenever summer starts, whenever they go back to school, or we have Christmas vacation, holidays, anything like that. The important times when I know I need to take off, I put it on my calendar so I can plan way ahead of time. Now, the other tip that I have for you whenever it comes to planning is to take time off. Okay, maybe you're like, yeah, but I typically work through all that stuff. I don't ever take time off. You need to plan it, okay? This needs to happen. Everybody needs a break from time to time. So my suggestion is to look at your calendar in quarters. I don't know what it is about a quarter of the year, but it's like compartmentalizing my year, my life, and it just helps me not feel so overwhelmed with planning the entire year. So look at the quarter. Whatever quarter in you're right now, if you didn't take any time off, plan to take some time off in the next quarter, whether it's a week, whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's a whole month, whatever that looks like for you. I encourage you to look at your podcast calendar and ask yourself, when can I actually take time off, and then plan for it. This is really important because the next 2 things that I have to share with you cannot happen if you have not planned to take this time off. So that is tip number 1, make sure and have a plan. Tip number 2 that I have to share is batch. I need you to batch your content. Now, I have a video right here that is all about how to batch your podcast. So if you want to know more about how I strategically do this, make sure you watch that video because it's going to be super helpful. But in a nutshell, batching consists of batch planning multiple episodes at once, recording all at once, and then editing all at once. Now, I do not recommend trying to record a week or a month's worth of podcast content in a single day. Like beginning to end, I'm going to record 4 episodes and then I'm going to edit them and then I'm going to publish them or schedule them to be published. Like that is exhausting. It is exhausting from someone who podcasts a lot and love this so much. It is exhausting to create that much content in one sitting. So this goes back to having a plan, right? That was tip number 1. I want you to have a plan for how you're going to sit down and execute all of the content that you need to create while you're gone. I actually did this last Christmas. It was a Christmas holiday, and I knew the date that my kids were going to be out of school and when they were going to go back. So I planned all of the episodes that I was going to record in that time frame. Again, I did not sit down and necessarily record them all and edit them and create all the other like extra marketing pieces, but I at least planned them. So whenever I was able to sneak away and have the kids, occupied or doing whatever, I could come in my office, sit down, and get right to work recording my podcast. There was no time wasted because I had already planned them out. So utilize batching. Batching will be your best friend. So again, make sure you go watch that video all about batching your podcast, but that is tip number 2. I want you to batch your podcast. So before we move on, I want you to tell me in the comments below, have you tried batching your podcast, or have you even tried planning ahead, or are you just being pretty reactive right now? Tell me in the comments below, because I want to know how I can create more content to help you be more proactive and less reactive in how you are creating your podcast content. So let me know in the comments below. But okay, let's move on to tip number 3. And the third tip that I have to share with you today kind of goes back to the other 2, planning and batching, but you have to think about promotion. So even though you're going to be gone, right? Like let's just imagine you're going to be on vacation, you're not going to have Wi-Fi, you're not going to have internet, no cell service, none of those things, which sounds incredible, by the way. But you're not going to have any of those things at your fingertips. So you would say, oh, I'm going to create all this podcast stuff, but I'm not actually going to promote it. I'm just going to put it out there. No, that's a bad idea, because if you've been around here for a while, you know that consistency is one of those key principles that we talk about all the time in the podcast journey. So I want you to be consistent with your marketing as well. So I want you to batch your promotional materials. And I want you to create marketing things that you can have going to your social media, going to your email list, or however like you promote your podcast. I want you to still promote your show even if you're on vacation. And it's okay. It's okay if you put something out there and you're like, well, why would I post something on social media? I'm not going to be able to immediately comment and interact with people and engage with people. That's okay, because you're not going away forever, right? Like hopefully you were just going on vacation. Maybe you're going to be gone for a long weekend. Maybe you're going to be gone for a week. Maybe you're going to be gone for a month. You can still make all of this work. But at the end of the day, I believe that consistency is key to really having a podcast that you love, a podcast you enjoy creating, that your audience craves every single week. So I'm going to do a quick recap, right? So first step is plan. Second step is batch. Third step is promote. And you can do all of these things. I promise you. I want you to take time off of your podcast, even though I love this so much. It makes my heart so happy to talk about podcasting and do podcasting. Mama needs a break from time to time. Okay? And I think that you do too. So I want you to take all the tips that you learned in this video today. Tell me in the comments your biggest takeaway. Tell me one thing that you're going to implement starting now. Maybe you're going to go and grab your calendar and plan some time off in the next quarter. Awesome. Share in the comments. Maybe you're going to go watch the batching video and you're going to come back here and say, this changed my life. Awesome. Tell me in the comments. I want to know what action step you are going to take in order to take some time off from your podcast. But that's all I have for you today. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe below. That way you don't miss our future videos all about podcasting and running your online business. Make sure you check out these videos right here, all about podcasting and running your online business. That's what we love to talk about around here, y'all. And as always, remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.